All right, so today I'm going to show you how to put go from an 18 millimeter head to a 20 on an 18 mil block. So when you get your head gaskets, this is a 20 millimeter head, so we're going to put a 20 mil head on an 18 millimeter block. When you buy head gaskets, you can get step dowels, and the step dowels will allow you to adapt from an 18 mil block, 20 mil head with a 20 mil head gasket. When you put your rocker boxes on, you're going to have to take the dowels out. So you'll have a dowel here and you'll have a dowel here. If you pull these out, because they're made to sit in the old head to locate the rocker box, you'll take these that go here. You're going to take those out, and then these are the step dowels that you can get when you buy 20 millimeter head gaskets from Ford. They come with these, but the head gaskets that we're using are Fel-Pro head gaskets, so we'll use these. You can still buy the step dowels separately from Ford, but yeah, these are what you're going to need to adapt your 20 mil heads onto an 18 mil block. The next thing you're going to do is, when you get these taken out, you're going to throw a couple studs in the block. So we'll throw all our head studs in and get those all lined up, and then we're going to put the rocker box on. And then we're going to put the glow plugs in as well. And then we're going to go from there. I'll show you what to do after that. All right, so what you do is you put your glow plugs in with your studs. And then you're going to put your rocker box on. Make sure you have a gasket on your rocker box. I've seen some people do this and they forget to put their gaskets, the new O-ring around the rocker box on the bottom, and you get a nice oil leak. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your glow plug harness. We want to locate the rocker box to the head. So your glow plug harness has like really low tolerance. If you put this on without the glow plug harness on, what happens is you'll never get your glow plug harness in. It won't, the hole won't line up with the glow plug. So you put all your glow plugs in, okay. Make sure you grease the O-rings too on the glow plug harness before you put them in. That way, when you take it out, if you ever have to take it out, it makes it easier. They won't stick on you. A lot of them, when you pull the glow plugs, when you have to do a glow plug swap or harness replacement, when you use a tool, you end up breaking the plastic on the glow plug harness because it doesn't want to come out of the hole. So if you put some grease on there before you put the glow plug harness in, you won't have the problem with the stiction issue. So next, now that you're all lined up with the glow plug harness, this doesn't move. So this is nice and solid, and it's right where it should be. So you don't have to worry about anything lining up. So now all you got to do is continue on with your with the job here on putting your bridges on and your rocker arms and your push rods. Another thing I want to show people. Everybody asks me how I get stuff out of these holes. What I do, because once you get debris or anything in there, when we do a head stud job, I use this really cool vacuum that's air powered. So I hook the air hose up to that, and then I got this hose right here, and we can shove it in these holes. So I can shove it down in here, and I can suck all the crap out of here, all the water and everything. And that way there's no water in the block on either side. And then I can also suck all the oil out of these holes for the studs, so I can make sure that these are all nice and clean. I could put some brake cleaner in there and suck everything all out, and that way it's nice. Another tip, if you're using brake cleaner to clean the heads of the deck, like this deck is ready to go, it's nice and clean, it's got all the material off for the old head gasket, and what I use is a stoning block. So this in WD-40 works really nice, and it gets all the material off. Once you're done, get a little bit of oil and line the cylinder walls with some oil like on your finger, and then turn the crank and get the pistons to move up and down. And what it'll do is anything that got where the rings are, it pushes all that debris up, and then you can wipe it all out because it's stuck to the oil now on the cylinder walls. And then I like to lube up the cylinder walls a little bit, just because if you're cleaning the cylinder walls, you want to have some type of lubrication on there. So when the when you go to start the truck up, there's oil on there, and that way you don't have to worry about you burning a ring out. So you can fry piston rings and basically go from a 400 PSI motor to 200 PSI motor and a couple cranks. So it won't be good. So grease them up, or I use, you can use bearing guard, is one thing, or you can just use some regular oil. And another thing is, when I do the oil cooler, I use this vacuum as well, so everything gets nicely vacuumed out with brake cleaner. So you can use some Clevite bearing guard and lube up your cylinder walls that way, or you can use just regular motor oil and just lube it up just a little bit. You don't want to use a whole lot, but just enough to where the pistons want to ride on the oil and not the cylinder wall and be dry. So this is a nice clean deck ready for another head. So we'll get this this one gone.